I'm gonna be honest. This right here is kind of crazy to me. The Philadelphia Eagles, who was one of the last undefeated teams in the league, who was at 4-0 at one point, now at 4-2 with a second straight loss to the New York Giants, who were 1-4. Now, honestly, I think I have to say this. I think the New York Giants are a very good team. Well, maybe not a very good team, but I think they're better than what the record and everything else kind of indicates. I think they are a pretty good 1-4 team. They do have one of the toughest schedules in the league, so I think that kind of indicates why they are 2-4 and on a losing record. But and of course they had Russell Wilson playing those first 3 weeks, but it's like ever since Jackson Dart stepped into this offense, not only that, Cam Scadaboo, as you can see here, ever since these two stepped into the offense, they've just looked like a way better football team. I mean, look at this. But how about this? Jackson Dart, 17 for 25, 195 passing yards, one passing touchdown, and 58 yards on the ground with one rushing touchdown. And Cam Scadaboo, this guy is a absolute dog. He will run. He's a wall. He's a tank, and he will run through you like a billy goat. Heck, Wandale Robinson. He played pretty good. But I mean, Cam Scadaboo, he had 3 touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns with 98 yards. He had himself a day. I mean, like I said, it's like ever since these two stepped into the offense, it's looked like a way better football team. I mean, heck, Jackson Dart was so valuable as far as this is. He was so valuable that when he went to the medical tent, Brian Table was literally so impatient for him to get back out there. He was rushing him back out there, and although he probably shouldn't have done that, he did because that's how important he was in this game. And heck, I mean, everyone thought he was so important that Russell Wilson literally threw one singular pass attempt, and it was a bad pass. It was a bad pass, and he threw one bad pass, and the whole crowd was booing him off the field. They was booing him off the field, and Brian Dable, he was absolutely fuming. He was absolutely looking like a hothead, all because Russell Wilson threw one singular bad pass, which I mean I didn't get. But I want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles for a second. 4-2 now, 2 straight losses. I mean, it's one thing to lose to the Denver Broncos. I mean, they were a playoff team last year, and I mean, they're a pretty solid team. I mean, they're not an easy team to beat. But here's the thing: you lose to the Giants on prime time. I mean, that's just bad enough. But I mean, at least Jalen Hurts had. At least Jalen Hurts was passing the ball a little bit this game, and they weren't running it the whole time. Saquon Barkley, pretty efficient with the touches he got, but just not enough workload as what Saquon should probably get. Um, he did get stuffed a few times, but I mean, outside of that, he was pretty efficient. Uh, and the Eagles pass catchers finally got some work. I mean, Dallas Goddard. I mean, Dallas Goddard always kind of gets work. I don't know. Uh, they kind of have that little play with him and the one of the tush push packages, which we will talk about in a little bit. But AJ Brown finally getting some work. 6 receptions for 80 yards. Devonta Smith seeing a solid amount of work. 4 catches for 49 yards. But I mean, it wasn't enough. Uh, they kind of didn't do well in this game. Jalen Hurts, especially when he threw that interception, that was bad. That kind of took him out of the game a little bit. But one thing I want to say, one thing I would like to say if I can find them. Wait 1 second. This Eagles defense. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I know they were without some pieces. I mean, they didn't have Jalen Carter, they didn't have Quinion Mitchell in the game, but still, at the end of the day, they didn't. Even without those two, that doesn't take away from what Jackson Dart just did to them on primetime on Thursday Night Football. I mean, yeah, there's some pretty good pieces on this team. I think Jihad Campbell has done pretty well. Zach Bond's obviously good. Jordan Davis, Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. But outside of that, more importantly, the secondary. Well, parts of the secondary. Because I mean, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship. I mean, they're pretty good. But what about this guy? In fact, this guy did so bad last night. He actually got benched, and rightfully so. This guy was causing flags. He was leaving people wide open. Um, Here's the thing: this secondary did they don't look good at times. But I mean, what do you do? I mean, this guy couldn't tackle. Adoree Jackson, he couldn't tackle. And I mean, just with those injuries, it's just hard for this team because without some of these key pieces, this Eagles defense kind of struggles in some aspects, which is terrible. But one thing I would like to talk about is the offense. Honestly, I'm hearing from what I'm hearing, there is a issue in the locker room. I'm hearing there is a big issue in the locker room, and I'm gonna show you why. Now, obviously, it is no secret that Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and AJ Brown had a private meeting. They had a private meeting between the three. Now, here's the thing: Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. They said that this meeting did happen. They said that this meeting happened, but we're not. We're pretty much not going to tell you what we said in it. Now, AJ Brown said something a little different. He said he was basically acting like the meeting didn't happen. It says right here that he denied recalling the meeting. Um, but he could have been like it says down here. It says he could have been downplaying the idea of some significant tension, which could be true. I mean, that's a pretty media thing to do. I mean, usually you try to keep that stuff out of the media as much as you can, but sometimes you can't. But I mean, now what this meeting could have been about, I don't know. Um, Maybe it could have been the fact that I mean they did lose to the Denver Broncos, but it could have been to the fact that maybe AJ Brown isn't used to his full potential, maybe, or maybe the offense doesn't really seem as good as it's supposed to be, passing wise. Running wise, it's pretty good. But, this meeting could have been about a lot of things. But I'm going to show you another controversy that a lot of people are seeming to disagree with. The tush push was ran four straight times into the end zone during that game, which, I mean, this has been a controversy for a long time. Heck, they were trying to ban it even before this season started. But this season it's been a little bit different, mainly because there has been a lot of penalties on this play that have not been called, and a lot of people are very furious about it, which is understandable. Now, my take on it is I don't think this play should be banned. I mean, I think if you have a legal play like this, that you were genius enough and have the offense to do it and it's legal, then I think it's okay to have. I don't really think it's fair to get rid of a pretty unstoppable groundbreaking play just because nobody can stop it. But I do think it should be called officially. I think it should be officiated correctly because if you're gonna have an unstoppable play like this, then it should then you need to watch for false starts and all that because that's what has been happening. That's what has been happening during the tush push this year, and they said they would officiate better, and they just haven't as of far. I'm hoping they do, but I think the tush push should stay as long as it's officiated correctly. Now, in other news, my fantasy team is garbage. And yes, this is a dynasty, which makes it even worse. I have to keep this team, which is the sad part. But, looking at it, it's pretty bad. We're 0 5. Yeah, we're in a pretty bad spot. And honestly, this roster is pretty good on paper, but it's just been a very unfortunate season for me so far. Now, I did recently trade for my boy Drake May, which usually you really wouldn't trade for a QB in a dynasty, but my bench was two and CJ Stroud, and Jared Goff was there before. He was my starter, which Jared Goff isn't a bad fantasy starter, but he's not the greatest either. I needed a young guy who could carry me to the future. And Drake May, obviously, of course, when I got him, he doesn't have the best fantasy performance, but he still plays pretty well, which was the sad thing, considering he's put 23, 20, 26, and 16 the past 4 weeks. But outside of that, let's look at it. Now, yes, we are starting Kendra Miller, and I'm going to show you why. Because, listen, we got Judkins here, and, here's the thing. All my other running backs are on the IR. Hampton just went on the IR. That screws me over big time, if I'm being honest, because he was doing so well. And he was going to play the Dolphins' run defense. And nobody knows it better than me that the Dolphins' run defense is trash. So he would have had a day in this game. But of course, he had to go on the IR right when it happened. Aaron Jones, um, I'm not going to lie, this one stings because um, he ain't gonna come back for a couple weeks, and even when he does come back, it's probably not gonna matter because Jordan Mason has done pretty well, and he is probably going to take a spot. So this doesn't really, unfortunately, this isn't really gonna matter. Yes, I have Brandon Ayuk. Um, that's sad. That one's sad as well. But honestly, now, my receivers. Brian Thomas, he's been picking it up these past couple weeks, but obviously not the Brian Thomas I thought I'd see. DJ Moore, he's been getting alphaed by Roma Dunze. I tied it's so bad to the point where I'm having to put a tight end at my flex. That's how bad it is. That I don't want to do that, but I have to do that. Kyle Pitts, um, I mean, he had a pretty good game a couple weeks ago. Let's hope he stays that way coming off the bye. Mason Taylor, who's been getting pretty more involved in this offense week by week. I mean, look at this. Getting more targets each week, and had a pretty pretty good fantasy week last week. I mean, 17 points. I mean, that's pretty. He was done pretty good. Dobbs, who just came off a 3 touchdown game, I'm hoping he has that same performance against the Bengals defense this week, and then Jacoby Myers, who has not been that great this past couple weeks, which really the Raiders offense as a whole hasn't looked good these past few weeks, but or really genuinely at all. But yeah, he hopefully he can jump back to the consistent, solid Jacoby Myers we all know. Now, here's the thing, Terry McLaurin. I'm kind of sad I don't have him right now, and that's how desperate of a point we're at. Considering he really has not had a pretty good fantasy season so far. Um, and plus, at the week he got hurt, he was doing so good, and then he had to get hurt, and I haven't seen him since. So that kind of makes me sad. Jordan Addison, he's been a dog ever since I got him. Ever since he got off his suspension, he's been a dog for me. But outside of that, right now this fantasy team is cooked. Yes, we got Trey Harris on our taxi squad, but yeah, we are kind of at a cooked point. Honestly, we might not win a single fantasy game all year, but we will certainly try going forward because that's really all you could probably do. Now, lastly, I wanted to talk about the standings as of this recording. Um, Honestly, some of these divisions are back into a contest. Obviously, not the AFC North because the Bengals are done without Joe Burrow, and they're not getting him back anytime soon. The Ravens have been garbage as of far, losing everybody off of injuries, not even having Lamar Jackson again. And they're probably going to lose to the Rams, so they're probably going to be 1-5. It's going to be a hard climb to get back into the playoffs for the Baltimore Ravens. That's for sure. And then the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. So Pittsburgh kind of has this kind of has this division in the bag a little bit as long as they don't screw up uh, through this mid season. But the Patriots are not far behind on the Buffalo Bills. Honestly, Drake May went in there and beat the 4-0 Buffalo Bills, which was crazy. It was a pretty good game. Honestly, I think the divisions between these two. I mean, this could be a battle. This could be a battle between these two teams. The AFC South, um, the Colts and Jags, they're still in contest for the division. The Jaguars, got a win against Kansas City, pretty big for them. Colts dog walked the Raiders. Honestly, this division's, I'd say it's definitely going to be between these two, and it's definitely going to be between those two, and I think it's going to come down to their one of their games when they play of who takes that division. It's so close. Chargers and Broncos are above the Chiefs for the divisions between these two. Chargers have took two straight losses against the Commanders and Giants. They're now back. They're now back on the planet Earth and fighting for the division with the Denver Broncos. With two straight losses to the Broncos and Giants, the Eagles are now back into contest with the Commanders, so probably could be between them. And who knows? Maybe the Cowboys and Giants could get in this race too. There's still a lot of season left. It could happen, but these two teams are looking more competitive these past couple weeks. Even if the Cowboys did play the Jets, but NFC North, the Lions got it by 2 games. They're doing pretty good. I don't think anyone's going to stop the Buccaneers from winning the NFC South. Now the NFC West. Now this is a division that could be tough to predict because the 49ers are winning games with Mac Jones, which is pretty crazy. The Seahawks have actually been way more competitive of a football team than I thought they were going to be. So they are in this fight, and then the Rams are pretty good. They've been getting wins. They lost to the 49ers, which kind of stings their chances a little bit, but I'd say there's definitely still in this race. And then the Cardinals. I'm not even going to talk about the Cardinals after what I've seen. After what I've seen them do against the Titans, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about them right now. But this could be a pretty competitive division. This one could come down to the wire. In all honesty, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.